in Livingston, New Jersey. Coming up next right here on the NFHS Network.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for Frazier.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown.
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Frazier wins it. The championship.
Hello and welcome back to Madonna Turf here at Livingston High School. I'm Jacob Gorn, joined by Ryan Lowy. We've got a fantastic game of soccer between the Montclair Mounties and Livingston Lancers, two teams that made it to the semifinals and lost in the county tournament. And for keys to the game for both sides, we're going to hand it over to Ryan.
Well, Jacob, I thank you. A confusing and windy day here at Livingston High School at the Madonna Turf as the Livingston Lancers host the Montclair Mounties. The Montclair Mounties come into this one with a 9-2-1 record. The Livingston Lancers a 10-3 record. And just like that, we're going to go to the keys of the game. Jacob?
So for keys of the game for the Mounties, take advantage of Livingston's goalkeeper situation. Logan Paredes got a red card in their semifinal game. He was suspended for 2 games. And now Jake Hans, their sophomore backup goaltender on varsity, has to take the reins. This is his chance to shine and really prove himself. And as well, they got to take advantage of Livingston's injury plague. Livingston suffered not just the loss of a starting goaltender, Logan Paredes, but who was named by NG.com a top 100 senior in the state of New Jersey. Noah Fisher is also playing a little hurt. And as well as a few other injuries that have caused Livingston to maybe play some players that wouldn't normally play in a game like this.
And for Livingston?
For Lancers, they're going to want Charlie Grossman to continue to show up as he has as of late. He's been on fire offensively for them this season. 7 goals to lead the team for him. He's been on fire. They're going to need to continue that as well. Press the back line. Montclair likes to stay back and control the game from there. Livingston's going to have to take advantage of that and create some opportunities in the offensive end of the field.
Lancers and Mounties coming up next. Montclair coming to this one with a 9-2-1 record. Livingston with one more win as the rain starts to enter with a 10-3 record, one more loss as well. Both these teams have a common foe that they've lost to this season. The Seton Hall Prep Pirates. The Lancers played them once. They lost to them 2-0 on the road. Montclair on the road tied them and then lost them at a neutral site at Caldwell High School and the county semifinals. Let's see which of these two teams is better, both just outside of the top 20 rankings coming in today's game. Next, stay tuned for more pregame on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network.
Screen pass out in the flat, caught, and it's a touchdown for St. Peter's. O'Donnell swinging away, puts it over the shortstop's head. That's a base hit. It'll score 1. Faraz on his way home. Throw is not in time. Going quickly, Bullock takes the snap, throws to the far side, wide open touchdown.
In there, called strike 3 looking. Mulcahy strikes out the side. He's perfect through 2.
Now up ahead for the Marauders. Here comes Biggs. They score! Now go back to this for St. Peter's Prep. Bounced on the ground to short. Faraz Fields flipped to O'Donnell 1. Throw on to first in time for a double play. We'll look back out there for the Marauders. He takes the snap. Looking over the middle. Has a man. Can he scores? Reels it in. 35. Stick on to defenders. 2 on to the 20. Once again, hit in the air to deep center field. Sicka moving on the back at the wall. It's gone! Ellis Reed with a 2-run blast. And the Marauders have a 6-0 lead.
St. Peter's Prep has the best coverage for its student athletes. Why don't you?
Want to learn how to be a talk show host? Want to be a great play-by-play announcer?
That's good!
You always have to be prepared for something to happen.
Thank you, Gary.
Sure, thank you, Matthew.
Good evening, everybody. Today is Super Bowl 54. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers.
But sometimes there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot going on. There's a lot on your mind.
Arizona is a tough out right now.
I think the Chiefs come out of it.
He speaks beautifully. to speak in front of people, learning how to have a conversation, learning to ask questions. These are skills that will help you in whatever you do in your life.
It's hard to get to everything we have going on here. I mean, this high school has so much. And now you're offering the ability to watch those events without having to travel there.
My dad travels a lot, so he likes to watch the events. Like if I'm playing a volleyball game and he can't make it, he'll watch it and he loves it.
I think it was homecoming. It was Friday night, and it was a punt return. And I returned it all the way back for a touchdown. And of course, I showed all my family members, and they really liked this. They like to see what their family members can do.
Golden Lions.
I think this broadcast is essential because our team is global, and we got people all over the world going to watch the game. So without this, there's no way they can do that.
These kids and these players feel loved, they feel important, and by broadcasting it, you have a bigger group that you're reaching that allows them to know those kids.
I can't see it. Blacked out. It's blurred. It's supposed to be blurry. Hear that?
This one's obvious.
Blackhawks or Ducks?
So obvious.
Oh no! 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 Blackhawks! Blackhawks! What did you say the first time? I didn't even
I said Rangers, it's Blackhawks.
Yeah, Blackhawks.
I'm in Chicago was the home team twice. So, this is not a gimme series for Edmonton. But I still make the other succinct.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Madonna Turf Field in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. It's an SEC matchup. I'm Ryan Lowy, joined with Jacob Gorin on the call. Jacob, we do have some drizzling. Would you please inform us on the forecast here and how much could it potentially damage our setup in today's game?
Well, it shouldn't hurt that much. We're expecting drizzling for about another 4 or 5 minutes. After that, we should be in the clear. We'll see, though. Weather is unpredictable.
You do never know, and that brings us to today's starting lineups as the game will go on as of now. The Montclair Mounties, who's today's player to watch?
For the Mounties, player to watch, I'm going to have to go with their goaltender, Anthony.
Liam Thatcher is starting in goal today.
Yeah, that's right, Liam Thatcher. He's called up, junior, and see what he can do, Ryan. Not their usual starting goalkeeper. For Livingston, we're also going to go with a goalkeeper. That's Jake Hans. Mentioned earlier, Logan Paredes facing a 2-game suspension for his actions in the semifinal matchup against West Orange. So Jake Hans is Livingston's man for the next couple of games. We'll see what he can do against a tough Mounties group.
Well, both captains are currently meeting in the middle. Livingston, as you can see, definitely the more experienced side when it comes to age on the field at the moment. However, the Montclair Mounties having a very successful season. They tied the Seton Hall Prep Pirates, Jacob, who are, hovering around the second best team in the state of New Jersey at the moment. That's pretty threatening.
Definitely is.
So we're just moments away from kickoff. We'd like to welcome you back. Ryan Lowy and Jacob Gorin on the call.
Another player that might be worth looking at is Kareem Balou. He is Turkish, actually. He leads the team in goals with 5. It's for the Mounties.
Both teams are in their huddles here at the Madonna Turf as Montclair is ready to go. For Livingston, one thing we've noticed, they've been plagued by injuries. We've seen Fisher, he's a little shooken up, but he's dressed for today's game. Coach Rubinetti will put him in the lineup. Obviously, as we do know, Logan disqualified. Colin Miller, the epitome of out for the season pretty much due to his bad ankle injury. Connor Strunsis also facing some injuries, but he's able to come out here today. Livingston facing the injury plague after that tough county tournament loss 4-0.
Yeah, tough game, not just in terms of the final result, but also in terms of the results for the future. Lots of injuries came out of that one, Ryan. Livingston's lucky they have guys like Fisher and Strunsis who are banged up but still playing.
It's Livingston's first regular season game here at the Madonna Turf. They've played every other game at the main turf, Jacob. They've seen some success there, starting off with their 1-0 win against the Milburn Millers. They've won a lot of games there. They also lost a tough one to Westfield. Livingston only loses to top 20 teams in the state of New Jersey. They lost and were able to propel West Orange to the 12th spot in the state of New Jersey in their county semifinals. But the 2 games before that, they absolutely destroyed their opponents. You remember that? We saw a first goal this season from Lav Siegel, a first assist this season from Alex Yuck. We saw a first goal this season from El Fuego. Livingston just absolutely erupted to get to the semifinals, but they just could not prevail in Caldwell. But the regular season is not done. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's nowhere near. At least 3 games left to go on the schedule for both teams, Jacob. So plenty of soccer left to be played. Livingston is in their huddle on the right side of your screen. They will be attacking on the left. Montclair will be running vice versa. Jacob, jerseys?
For Livingston, you got their regular home green and whites. And for the Mounties, you got a white with blue numbering.
So we are expecting better weather after these 15 minutes of rain, which is a very good thing. Obviously,
Even starting to clear up right now.
Yeah, no thunder in the forecast. It's a little windy, a little chilly. It's actually starting to get very cold. I'm feeling that fall vibe. I don't know about you.
Definitely am, Ryan. It's starting to become fall, which I'm not happy about. Don't like the cold.
Both teams playing their first game since the conclusion of the county tournament. Livingston a 4-0 tough loss to West Orange after Montclair a tough 1-0 loss to the Seton Hall Prep Pirates, a team who they tied earlier in the season. Jacob, a very high-level soccer game. 2 teams trying to punch their way back into the top 20 in the state of New Jersey. Last year, these 2 teams faced each other in the sectional finals for both the boys and girls. The girls of Livingston lost 4-1, and the boys of Montclair won 3-0. Both games were played down at Montclair's field. It was a COVID-infested season, which meant there was no county tournament last year. County tournament just wrapped up. The champions on the boys' side, the Seton Hall Prep Pirates. On the girls' side, the West Orange Mountaineers. So both titles lie in the township of West Orange this year, but we have Livingston Montclair for you coming up real soon right here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network from the Madonna Turf for the first time this year, as Charlie Grossman will kick it off for the Lancers in the ensuing moments.
Go Montclair!
We're waiting for the head whistle. 3 officials today. 1 far sideline, 1 close sideline, 1 in the middle. Jacob Gordon on the call with me, Ryan Lowy, as the official will set his clock, soon to blow his whistle. And let's play soccer right here on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network at the Madonna Turf Field. Montclair controls in the back to start us off, and this is where Livingston's press needs to come and play, Jacob. We were talking about our keys to the game earlier. Montclair definitely like to control the ball in the back. Livingston, a very strong team out back as well. This is a defensive game.
Yeah, definitely. Montclair this season said not exactly the best goal scoring. 1-0, 1-0, the win and loss. The 3-2 winning against Rona, then 2-0, 4-0, 2-1, 1-1, 1-0, 4-0 against Wayne Hills, and 1-0 and 1-0 against Caldwell and Rona, 1-0 loss against Seton Hall Prep. Very defensive-oriented team. Only scored more than 2 goals 3 times this season.
Shot fits into the back of the net for a Mounties goal early in the game. That's from Karem Balou, the senior, and Montclair kicks this game off early. We're barely 2 minutes in, Jacob.
It's one of my players to watch for Montclair, Ryan, but Karem Balou. It's his 6th goal of the season, team leading 6th of the season, Ryan.
An explosive Mounties first goal here at the Madonna Turf. Not a good start for Livingston's first game of the season at Madonna, as Grossman will once again kick it off.
Talking at halftime, I want to tell you a couple things.
As Feldman will now control. Lancers now getting their first really possession of the game. They're already down a goal. Tough start for them. These are two county semifinalists who both once held a berth in the top 20 in action. Grossman controls at the football 35, and he passes it over to Jake Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald deflects one. It finds its way to Fisk. Fisk sears the ball out off of Fisher and cleared away. At the back line, here's Loomis. And cleared on up where it is poorly touched down by Fitz. And Montclair calmly controlled with pressure at the back. A quick start for the Mounties, Jacob. They're up 1-0.
Yeah, real early, Ryan.
So in Hans's first varsity start, 5 minutes in, he surrenders a goal, and the Lancers are down 1-0.
Not even 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
2 minutes in.
Henselvitz's pass just gets to Chisrick where it's taken away. This one is controlled by Levine and trickles out of bounds for a Mounties throw-in. Ryan Lowy, Jacob Gorn, Noah Varman on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS network. Here at the Madonna Turf field, this ball will be thrown in by Nicholas Levine. Hans jumps for it. Lancers earn a free kick.
They're looking for what ball to use. That's fun when he gets to his desired position. Goal kick, actually, Ryan.
So it's actually like a free kick. Sent on up. Headed. And controlled by the Lancers. Malhotra got caught flat-footed, was just able to push it out to Strunsis, and it's cleared away for a Mounties throw-in. Mounties up 1-0 here at the Madonna Turf field. Poked away. And sent on up to Fisk, who just keeps it in far side. No, they're going to say he was actually out. So it's a Mounties backline throw-in. Mounties, a couple of recent successful appearances on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS network. Last year's sectional finals champions under head coach Torrey Weaver, and this year's county semifinalists. They lost at Caldwell to Seton Hall Prep 1-0. As that ball is crossed on in and cleared away by Fitzgerald on a one-touch in the air. Passing up by O'Toole and relayed on upward. O'Toole again. Sends far side chasing Geisey. Rejected by Mr. Speed, but punched right back on out. And the Mounties control. This ball swung on over. Loomis sent around. Chisrick gets in front of that one, and Grossman will help him out. Grossman's chasing a one-on-one. He's pit-pocketed, and he's going to earn a call. Levine, the guilty verdict. This is going to be shipped right on back into Henselvitz. Lancers now move on upfield. Fisher cuts and shoots and bombs one over. Well over the head of today's starting goalkeeper, William Thatcher, as it's punched on upwards. So now a goal kick for the Mounties. Lancers get their first shot of the game out from Fisher. And with both teams having one shot, the Mounties were able to capitalize on their first one just 2 minutes in. Ball sent on up to Fisher. Fisher will go on 1v1. He'll cut inside. He'll shoot. It's deflected away. Bunch of Mounties surround it.
Fisher's had really, in my opinion, the only 2 good opportunities for the Lancers. That chance there that was blocked, another one he rocketed high.
So far there is 35 minutes left to go exactly on the clock. This one's punched on up. Fisher controls. He's going to ship one to Fitzgerald, who pokes one far side to Mr. Speed. His pass deflects perfectly to Captain Fisk. Fisk tries to read the 1v1, poked away brilliantly by Adams.
Good job, Gibby.
Gibson Adams now will take it on up by a couple Lancers as he gets by Fitzgerald, and will try and bomb one down the field, but sweeping Zach Feldman reads this one down the line and earns a Lancers throw-in. A nice read by Feldman.
Yeah, good job. Keeping his feet. So it looked like he was getting control, but didn't actually touch it.
It's an affectionate shield there.
He's going to throw it in. Mr. Speed. So you'd like to call him, Ryan?
Yes, Mr. Speed for the Lancers. He's been an absolute weapon at the right back position for the Lancers, where he's played all season this year and last year. Didn't really miss a start in any of the games. from my recollection. Got a couple tries at CDM during preseason and the tryout process, but he just really fits as the right back for the Lancers. So Fisk with the free kick from the football attacking 42. He bombs one upfield. Can a Lancer head get on it? No, it's a Mountie head. Or it's swung on away, and a miscommunication will result in control by the Mounties. This one cleared away by Levine. Deflected on out, and the Mounties control. This one attempted to be poked on up, but Henselwitz stops that one. Grossman reverses course. Passes on back to challenge Feldman, who one touches to Henselwitz close side. Henselwitz outside the foot's one, but it is swept away by Gutierrez. Back and forth at the midfield we stand. Grossman charges on upward. Muscled off the ball brilliantly by Geisy.
It's been a very slow game thus far, Ryan. Lots of play in the middle of the field.
So
Back and forward.
the number twos collide, Chisarick and Levine. And Chisarick earns the benefit of the call. And Henselwitz will put it on back in. Henselwitz took last year off from high school soccer, tried to focus on academy ball, and, well, pretty successful. He's been a stand-up left back for the Lancers this year, Jacob, to say the least.
Yeah, he took the year off, focused on his personal development.
Lancers try to get tricky. Grossman's ball. Ooh, almost got touched by Fitzgerald. But Thatcher picks it up without a problem. He will now take his time in clearing it away with 32:20 left to go in the first half as Thatcher bombs one upfield. It will drop at roughly the 45 of the Lancers. Headed up in the air and controlled. Sipri passes back. Mounties control. Jacob, the Mounties last year graduated 18 seniors. They won the sectional tournament. They went 14-0-1. What a season that was for them.
Yeah, they were so good last year. Didn't lose a single game. Lost only a couple so far this season.
Yeah, both these teams, one thing you notice, they only lose to tough opponents. They don't lose to jokey teams.
No. When they play jokey teams, dominate, Ryan. Following this game, Ryan, Montclair is 3 games left.
According to NJ.com, they could always add more.
Could also be rain delays, other weather situational delays.
Well, we are really officially in the fall now, so anything can really get in the way of us. I'm still somewhat feeling that summer vibe. We did have that nice spurt of, almost like felt like 80-degree weather earlier today for like a good 20 minutes.
Even for Livingston, there could be filming delays. There's actually a Amazon Prime Video TV show being filmed here at Livingston High School on the weekends. I believe this is actually the final weekend they're filming here, but something that a little more uncommon that could get in the way, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. I believe this school's nickname is Kesselton High in the movie.
In the show.
Yeah, or I should say the Amazon Prime TV show, as Grossman tries to poke that one on out, but the Montclair backline rescues the day with Gutierrez. Mounties will now try and push on up. Ball sent on through. There's a beautiful through ball miscommunication and a shot saved by Hans. There's Hans's first save of the season as a starter.
Yeah, he's had a few other opportunities to play. Not coming in. Most of the time he's played well, of course, with 3 goals in a little over half the game against West Orange in the semifinal matchup. It was a 4-0 loss.
That was...
Paredes got that red card, Ryan.
It was really a tough game for the Lancers, that one. A lot of things went wrong. I mean, the officiating, and this is always a debatable thing, wasn't exactly on their side. I mean, they did win a lot of calls, but a lot of people would say that that call against Logan Paredes that got him suspended for today's and the next game versus Glen Ridge. Many would say that that was a maybe too aggressive of a call, but many would also argue the other way. Not only that, Fisher did get called on a couple aggression fouls early that he could have debatably gotten carded on as well. So really, the decisions on who the official was actually favoring that game could go either way, but as a result, Jake Hans getting a very nice opportunity for the Lancers. He's playing 2 very strong soccer teams.
Yeah, following this game, Ryan, Livingston will get Glen Ridge. It's on the 20th, so Wednesday. It's 4 p.m.
On the road?
On the road, yeah.
So 2 away games coming up for the Lancers. Then they will once again be back at home, I believe, at the main turf. Still haven't had senior night yet. Looking forward to senior night. A lot of good Lancer seniors this year to complete the roster, I should say, as Moore sends a beautiful ball on in that's headed away. And it'll be a Montclair far side throw-in. Ryan Lowry, Jacob Gorn, Noah Varman on camera here today on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network as the fall season is wrapping up for both the Lancers and the Mounties. The county tournament has met its completion. Both teams semifinalists, and the sectional tournament starting to become a glimpse in the schedule.
Yeah. On the horizon, you could say.
Batted away on the strong throw-in by Levine, and the ball trickles out of bounds for a Lancers throw-in very close to the corner. Henselwitz will now throw it on in. Interesting angle we have here from Madonna. Not as much elevation, not really a press box option.
Situated on the away side bleachers, Ryan. Closer to the 50-yard line.
And then, of course, we talked about by coincidence, we have the indoor option at the main turf facility. And, of course, the one day where rain starts to become a problem, well, you know where we are, the Madonna Turf. Ball thrown in and headed up in the air by Levine. It'll be a whistle on the Mounties for a free kick for the Lancers at roughly the 50. Looks like Strunsis will hand it off to Henselwitz to take it. Henselwitz, a searing right and left foot. He puts a lot of spin on that ball as he leaves it for Feldman, takes it, tries to ship one on in. It's deflected away by Wilson and cleared on up towards the 50. Strunsis, a nice touch, ships one back to the sweeping Zach Feldman. Feldman passes one on over to Henselwitz. Henselwitz will now dive on in. Henselwitz finds Grossman. Grossman trips on up, does not earn the call.
Livingston has a lot of trick plays like that, Ryan, off of free kicks, corner kicks, even goal kicks. They'll see something like that.
Fisk tries to send one on in. Levine gets in the way of that one. It's poked on up. Sippery plays back. Controlled, Levine, deflected. Mountie throw-in. It comes from Levine. We're actually getting quite the crowd here at Madonna. A lot of people showing up as the game continues onwards. Thrown on in by Levine to roughly the 50, where it's touched on down. Geisy sends one on through, but sweeping Feldman clears it away. He's fierce Feldman. He saves the day for the Lancers.
Oh, quite a play, Ryan. Diving to just meg it between his legs. Stop what could have been a fantastic opportunity for the Mounties.
Fitzgerald to Fisher. My apologies, not Fitzgerald to Fisher. There's a nice touch and a shot that is sent on wide right there by Chiserick. And it will be Thatcher's goal kick from the 6 as the wind pushes on through here at the Madonna Turf. And the kick will come from Nicholas Caldarella, the senior. Again, the Montclair Mounties, a very experienced roster. A lot of juniors and seniors, pretty much this entire starting lineup. Juniors and seniors. From the 50, headed by Fitzgerald. Ball shipped on down to the Lancer bench for a throw-in. This will come from Mr. Speed, who's got a bullet of an arm as well. Guns one on up. Deflected by the Montclair back line. Header control from Ballou. Bodies Fitzgerald, excuse me, not Fitzgerald off the ball. Goldsmith, as this ball will try and split, but Henselwitz saves the day, able to stop Sippery from a breakaway. Passes one on up. Here's Chiserick. Ships a ball that dangles on over to Fisher, but the slide tackle save. Saves everything, and Fisher now earns the call as he's bodied down by Marcos Gutierrez. And Montclair does not like that call. What do you think of that one?
I don't know, Ryan. It was close. I mean, flopping is a common coincidence in especially soccer.
Headed away. Henselwitz. Deflected shot, back line. Saved by Thatcher. A close Lancers opportunity. Rejected.
Being an official in sport soccer is just so difficult, Ryan. See, way more flopping than you do in maybe any other sport. You really have to create the difference at the very beginning of the game and let the players know what you're going to call and what you're not. So, with that call, I'd say the official is just setting the standard.
It's a fair statement. Levine tries to pass one on up. Henselwitz's foot gets in the way of that one. Grossman will chase. Chopped away by Gumas. And a Grossman throw-in who's voicing his frustration and will leave it at the 50 for Henselwitz to throw it on in. This Lancers team, a junior core team, a lot of junior talent, a couple sophomores on the up-and-coming, a freshman who we saw during the county tournament, Raday Dobby.
Yeah. He looked pretty good, Ryan, I'm not going to lie. Good for the future of this Lancers program.
Ball sent on up, deflected away. Running onto it is Chisrick. He controls, his shot deflected away. Once again, the Lancers' strong shots are deflected away as a swing and a miss from Ballou on his clearance attempt. And it's a Lancers throw. And the Lancers, a lot of opportunities that have just been muscled off or bodied away.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very back and forth game, Ryan. Lancers are going to have to be a little more physical in this one. They're not playing maybe a little smaller team or an easier team like Columbia.
Shot from Henselwitz, bombed over and far. A strong shot from Henselwitz. Nice piece of contact, but poorly placed as he tried to put it through the entire Montclair back line.
Yeah, it was a great shot, just rocketed to the left of the goal, off the one of the poles.
So Captain Caldarella uses his left foot from the 6 to bomb one to the 50. Headed in the air. Back and forth. Strunsis lays it to the ground. Handball will be called after questioned on Thomas Salaman. And they will leave it for Hans to take as the Lancers will ship everyone on up and play it right on to Feldman, who will take the free kick at roughly the 46th. Thought we were going to see Hans come up there as it looked like he was pointing in that direction. Malhotra, a strong pass to Fisk, who's bodied off the ball. Mounties will now control. Here's Moore. Shipped on up. Adams plays a nice ball, a strong one to Wilson, who goes one-on-one with Strunsis. Wilson passes one upwards. A good body by Ballou. And deflection on back. The shot from far, shanked away. Might actually stay in. As able to control it far side is Levine. Deflected out of bounds. They'll say Chisrick touched it last. It's a Montclair throw-in. So with roughly 21 minutes left to play here in the first half, 1-0 Mounties. A quick goal puts them on the board as this one's thrown on hard, deflected away, and Malhotra's last header clears the pressure. Feldman sweeps this one out in the possible redirect shot attempt, as Salaman will now try and get by Feldman. He just does, but it's deflected away by Malhotra. Feldman and Malhotra worked just so well together on the right side.
Yeah, I mean, as one of the best defensive combinations in maybe not just the county, but I'd say maybe top 20 state New Jersey, Ryan. Especially when you have a guy like Zach Feldman there, who's most likely going to play Division I soccer when he gets to college.
Well, yeah, here's Fierce Feldman. I think no doubt about it. He's all state talk this year. I mean, obviously, we do know he was competing with former first-team All-State, likely to repeat this year, Ari Rosu on West Orange. I'd say he's at the same level as him, so a very high possibility he may also fit in there as well. A lot of Lancers having a very strong season. Grossman, last year, tough start to the season, but at the end of the season, he did just phenomenal. And, well, I think this year, there's no doubt about it, he might even earn that all-conference second or first-team spot. I think Fisk and Chisrick also definitely in the running as well. And on the Mountie side, Ballou just having a very strong season, putting a lot of goals like today in the back of the net.
Yeah, team leading 6 on the season, Ryan, counting the one he scored today.
Yeah.
It's been on fire.
Although these two teams are not county champions of 2021, I think they will most likely definitely dominate the all-conference selections. Lancers and the Mounties, a lot of options there. You know who had a phenomenal county tournament in goal? That was Gabriel Smulyan. Just an absolute tank in goal. He's not starting today, but just had a really good county tournament for the Mounties. Was able to propel them to the semifinals, where they lost to a tough second-best team in the state of New Jersey. They moved back to 3, could likely move all the way up to 1. the Seton Hall Prep Pirates, who played Livingston as well earlier this year. At the Kelly Athletic Complex, Livingston a 2-0 loss. Lancers gave up a free kick down a goal, and, well, that buried the game for them. Fisk lets one go by. Bodied off the ball is Goldsmith by O'Toole.
Livingston's had a good amount of chances so far this afternoon, Ryan. I'd say they've controlled the majority of the possession. Even though it's been very close, I'd say they've controlled the majority of the possession of this game. Gotta start taking advantage, and if they want to even this game, letting up a goal early, it's not going to help, especially when you're more of a defensive-oriented school like Livingston.
Henselvitz tries to punch one into the back of the net from roughly the football 35-yard line, as this is a football practice facility for Livingston High School and the Livingston junior teams. That shot squeaks wide. Lancers coming into this game with 10 wins, Montclair with 9. Lancers do have one more win, but they also have one more loss as well. In comparison, both these teams a common foe of the Seton Hall Prep Pirates. Chiserick deflects it out for a throw-in for Nicholas Levine.
Livingston, more game played in general. Ryan.
Montclair also can throw a tie in there as well. That was versus the Prep Pirates, a big tie for them. That's the only game this year that the second-best team in the state of New Jersey did not win. They're still undefeated, but it's the only game they did not win. They took the county tournament home on the boys' side. On the girls' side, the West Orange Mountaineers took the win over the Livingston Lancers. Both games were played at Belleville High School.
Tough game for Livingston, as we mentioned many times already. They started off a little weaker in this one. The rest of this game needs to be a big bounce-back game for them, Ryan.
Salomon fights with Henselvitz. He's still on the ball. Passes one to Wilson, who controls. Finds an option. Here's Levine. There's one on back. This one's shipped upfield. Feldman punches his way on into the equation and bullies his way into a Lancers goal kick from the 6. He's fierce, Feldman.
Yeah, that's what you get when you have one of the top sweepers in the state of New Jersey, Ryan.
Well, that was quite the fierce play, to say the least. Feldman, no doubt about it, having a good game so far, as that's not his first amazing play. It is a sweeping slide tackle, brilliant play at roughly the football 45 in Lancer territory that, you know, possibly saved another Montclair goal to double their lead as they scored before the Lancers even had possession. Ball touched on in the air by Gutierrez and played on up. Relay header controlled by Salomon and shipped on upwards past Henselvitz. Feldman reads it just brilliantly, maneuvers right around Wilson, opens up the field, takes a heavy touch and gets it to Grossman. Grossman another heavy touch, relays one on back. Here's Jake Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald relays a tough ball to Malhotra, but Mr. Speed can easily get there. Ball stays in play far side, and it's punched out of play for a Mounties throw-in their defensive territory.
Ryan, we've talked a couple times about Zach Feldman already today, but one thing I want to bring up about him that maybe goes a little unnoticed is just his shiftiness with his feet. So often you see him able
Fisher punches one that's saved by Thatcher. Back heels one, and there's nobody there as this one's cleared away for a Lancers throw-in, but Fisher, once again, another strong opportunity.
Yeah, Ryan, as I was saying before, so often you see him just to get the ball, and when in a spot where he might look vulnerable, and he just gets out of it.
Yeah.
And you don't quite understand how, and he just manages to.
Shifty. A Mr. Speed throw, and we still haven't seen a substitution yet. Malhotra. Deflected cross. Still in play. Backheeled away by Abrams. And now he's able to clear it once again as it's deflected right back to him for a Lancers throw-in. Mr. Speed with the throw-in. Excuse me.
Andy Basoa has checked in, Ryan, for, I believe, Jake Fitzgerald.
There's a shot deflected into the back of the net for a Lancers goal. Aaron Henselvitz with the hammer. And we're tied.
absolute rocket by Henselvis. Ryan arced perfectly over the head of number,
I believe it was Thatcher.
99, yeah, Thatcher. In goal today for the Mounties, and
The Lancers' goal.
it's his first of the year, Ryan.
Well, we knew something was coming out of that one. He's been shooting all game long as that one deflects off the official. 2 bodies on the ground. Looks like it's Grossman and potentially O'Toole. Yeah, I think it is O'Toole. And the official will say that it was moving in the direction of Montclair when it deflected off from him at the football 40 on Montclair's defensive side. So both teams were able to get on the board this half so far. Montclair sticks back quickly. Quickest the Lancers have given up a goal this season. Most likely the quickest they've scored this season. And then, well, Lancers, a lot of shot opportunities. Fisher just missed on multiple easy opportunities. He was just off. And then Henselvis, a couple shots from far that just seared off wide. That one, I think, out of all his shots today from far, probably had the least amount of, I guess you could say,
zip to it.
Yeah, zip to it, really. But, I mean, it was just deflected perfectly.
Yeah, Fisher, he's had a really strong game, Ryan. Impressive, because he's one of those players that was questionable to even play today.
Yeah.
He's banged up in their game against West Orange.
Yeah, he was definitely cramping a lot in the county tournament. Still picking you up. Controlled by Montclair. Henselvis. And it's taken away. Salomon sends one on up. Potential cross that's faked. Moore dives on in. Possible shot opportunity by Salomon is caught by Hans. Hans punches one upfield. Controlled by Mendez. Here come the Mounties as they progress upfield. This one relayed on over. Far side where it's controlled by Adams. O'Toole, good job by Montclair controlling as they might have just opened up for an opportunity. Weaving and shooting, saved by Hans. Ball still under pressure, Hans finds it as it was under Chiserick the whole time.
Couple of good chances there for Montclair to make it a 2-1 game, reclaim the lead. Good first save by Hahn. Great effort by, I believe that was Chiserick, to deny, could have been the goal to make it 2-1.
So Chiserick and Hans work together to stop a good effort from Montclair, as there's Hans again, and Jabari Wilson's possible attempt at putting a second one into the back of the net for Mounties' goal, but it's just denied. Chiserick assisting Hans in Hans' debut for the Lancers. 2 goalies who don't usually start in the 2021 season in the back of the net, getting starts today. For Montclair, it's Thatcher. For Livingston, it's Hans. Pass deflected. Here's El Fuego, and, well, he's stopped in his tracks by a head official's whistle. Played on back in to Levine. Levine pings one on upwards, and the backspin will take this one in the wrong direction. It's a Lancers time. 10 minutes left to go in the first half. It's 1-1. Henselvis is able to cross out the Blues' goal. And we're right back to where we started here at the Madonna Turf. Jacob, an exciting first half.
Yeah, it's been a really good one, Ryan.
Fisher shut down. Mendez works together with Salomon to punch one out of play for a Lancers throw-in, which will come from Mr. Speed, who usually plays on the right side. He'll move over to the left for this throw-in. Guns one on up. Finding a head to clear is Mendez, and it's another Lancers throw-in. Mr. Speed will trot now on up to throw it on in. Each team we've noticed in Essex County this year has that one player with just that really strong arm. For West Orange, no doubt about it, was Ari Rosso. He took just about every single throw-in in that county final and semifinal game. This ball's thrown on in, deflected up in the air and relayed into Thatcher's hands quite easily. For Seton Hall Prep, Schuster's got quite the bullet of an arm, as well as Nihenke. Every team in this Essex County has a position player who can really just gun that ball up the field. For Livingston, I think it's Mr. Speed and Matthew Hoffman, as this one's relayed on up. Possible opportunity for Jared Fisk, who twirls around. This ball deflected away. Can't find Fisher as it's punched on up by O'Toole. Whistle blows, and the Mounties, moving in their direction, have a free kick. That was an exciting spurt.
Yeah, and down. A little slow to get up. She might just be tying his shoe. Is a Mountie. That's going to be number 8 for Montclair, Patrick O'Toole.
So due to the disqualification of typical Lancer starting senior goalkeeper, who as the sun now comes out, and it's starting to warm up a little bit, as I was saying, after the disqualification of Paredes in goal. The Lancers have called up a backup goalkeeper for today. That's the JV phenom, Matthew John, who's just done a phenomenal job at the JV level. He's called up today to back up Jake Hans as this ball's shipped on upfield.
Yeah, Matthew John's going to be a senior next year, and it's most likely going to be the backup here at the varsity level. Fred is a senior this year.
I had a little spurt of sun there that went right into the lens of your camera. Our apologies. As the Mounties control. There's a nice back heel touch right there by O'Toole. Shipped on far side. Good controlling effort here from Adams to slow down play. Mounties control in the middle. Mendez. Close side to Levine. Right back to Mendez, who checks on inwards. He's attacked by Grossman on the takeaway. Grossman trying to get bodied off the ball. Ships one on up to Fisher, who is offsides. According to the FAR official, no whistle comes as Fisher chips one on up, and it's off. And now the offside whistle comes on in. Looked like the head official might have missed that one originally.
Yeah, it was really close to whether it was offsides or not. Okay, and like I mentioned earlier, officials, that was the first offside chance really of the game. Officials got to set his standards. Show both sides what he's going to call and what he isn't.
Caldarella to now put it back on in. As he finds Levine, Captain Levine, the senior. Ships one upfield. This one curls into Hans's hands as he jumps up to stop Moore from a possible header into the back of the net. 1-1. A goal not even 2 minutes into this game from Montclair. Lancers respond late with like the roughly 8th or 9th shot of the game from Henselwitz from far. Man, mind you, that was deflected into the back of the net. Nonetheless, a pretty even soccer game between two teams that just are outside the top 20 in the state of New Jersey.
And both teams looking to claw their way back into the top 20 before we get to the States, the end of this month, Ryan.
Geisy for Montclair checks in. For the Lancers, Lav Siegel checks in, as this is a nice throw-in that Geisy just misreads, and Mr. Speed tries to punch one on up. Levine controls. He'll try and take Malhotra down the line, but fierce Feldman punches him away. Ball shipped on in by Levine and squandered up by Hans. Under 6 minutes left to go here in the first half. Of course, unlike the main turf, the official clock is not visible to all, so ours will have to do. Lav Siegel. Tanselwitz, who bombs one up. A kick and run effort, touched on down by Gutierrez. I'll tell you, there's a lot of advantages to playing on the Madonna Turf, as Feldman saves the day once again. He's fierce Feldman. Montclair. Shipped far side. Salomon sends one up where it's caught by Hans. Hans really coming back after that tough first goal. Now, as I was saying, there's a lot of advantages to the Madonna Turf. One advantage I don't like, for our clock, it's pretty much the official clock because there is not a scoreboard that everyone can see.
Yeah. Well, the officials, of course, are timing out the game.
And of course, the clock only stops when a goal is scored or when there's an injury. Substitutions with less than 5 minutes left to go in the game in the second half. Chiserick receives the pass from Fitzgerald. He'll try and drive on through. Gets around a couple. Takes a heavy touch, which denies his shot, so he'll have to work on out to Henselwitz. Henselwitz pings one on in. A hard pass. Fitzgerald swept away before it can get to him. El Fuego leaves one for Henselwitz after he gets a foot on it, and, well, one touch cleared away by Caldarella, high in the air and headed to roughly the 45, where Strunsis reads this one beautifully and gets this one to Grossman. Grossman also reads that one beautifully, takes a touch where he's swarmed by 3. His ping deflected off a defender. He still controls, and he'll work back calmly. Strunsis does not see the pressure, which is why it is deflected away, but might actually work out in the Lancers' favor, as it is actually last second deflected by Henselwitz for a Lancers throw-in. Benefit there on the Montclair side, as it looked like it was going to go out for a Lancers throw-in. But it won't. It's a Mounties throw-in. Jacob, with 4 minutes left to go, we're getting closer to that halftime. Both coaches have to be happy with the opportunities, but not quite the results.
Yeah, both teams have had some really good opportunities. We've seen some missed chances, some good goaltending on both sides. It's really been one of the most even games you can get, Ryan, between two very good teams. We just mentioned earlier looking to fight their way back into the top 20.
Well, the top 20, according to the scores at NJ.com, very competitive.
They've got about 2 weeks, a little more possibly, to get there before states start. The end of the month of October, beginning of November.
Thrown on in, headed in the air by Levine. And the sun once again comes back on out here at Madonna. We're getting brief spins of the sun as it sets here at the Madonna Turf as the clouds will clear away. This one's shipped on in by Fitzgerald and gobbled on up by Thatcher. With 2.5 left to go in the first half. Thatcher from the edge of the 18. Punts one up. Off both heads, and the official call is a Montclair throw-in at the 50. Obviously, we're sitting with the Montclair side, a little frustrated with that one. The throw-in will now come from Captain Levine as a substitution. Quickly charging on off is Moore for Montclair. And checking in looks to be Ethan Kahn. Again, the Montclair, a very depth team. Most Essex County teams very depth, as a matter of fact.
Very deep.
Yeah. We remember last year, Livingston and all the other teams had to work with limited rosters as the bus could only hold roughly 21. Livingston had an 18-man roster, in which they were very successful with. Sectional finalists, 14th best team in the state of New Jersey, where they also started this year. This ball relayed to Siegel. Siegel is able to find Fisk. Fisk. There's a body on the ground. It looks like rather there was a foul there or offsides. Not sure exactly which one it is, but nonetheless, it is a Montclair clearance attempt on the free kick, which will be waved backward to inside, well, roughly the line of the 18.
About 80 seconds left, Ryan, this first half. See if one of these teams can make something happen before we move on to the second half of play. Reset the clock back to 40 minutes.
Fisk ships one up. Ball will roll. Punched upwards. Montclair still controls as the ball is pinged on up by Ballou, but right to Feldman's feet. Henselwitz. El Fuego, and it's deflected out and controlled by Gumas. Gumas cuts back. Puts one out of play for a Lancers throw, and that'll come from Henselwitz as the clock winds downward. We have roughly 30 seconds. First, boys varsity soccer regular season game here at the Madonna Turf field, as the main host to the Lancers games this year has been the main turf facility, or as we call it, the Jake Jacobson Field, where it's hosted a lot of Lancers success in the past 2 years. Possible opportunity now for the Mounties. Here's Caldarella. Deflected on out and controlled by Ballou. Ballou ships one far side where it's touched by Adams. Adams rejected by Fisk. Fisk goes down, gets right back on up. Gumas to the back line. Montclair taking their time in this 1-1 draw currently right now, which is most likely where we'll get to, as that will do the first half of play here at the Madonna Turf. So at the end of the first half, the score 1-1. Montclair strikes in the early first 5 minutes of the game from Ballou, and then the Lancers off of a far kick from Henselwitz, ties the game, which is where we are at right now. Stay tuned for the second half right here on the D1 Media for page on the NFHS Network. Once again, I'm Ryan Lowe, joined Jacob Bourne, and Noah Varman. Second half next.
Screen pass out in the flat, caught, and it's a touchdown for St. Peter's. O'Donnell swinging away, puts it over the shortstop's head. That's a base hit. It'll score one. Faraz on his way home. Throw is not in time. Going quickly, Bullock takes the snap, throws to the far side, wide open, touchdown.
In there, called strike 3 looking. Mulcahy strikes out the side. He's perfect through 2.
Now up ahead for the Marauders. Here comes Bengals. They score! Michael Benkovitz for St. Peter's Prep. Bounced on the ground to short. Faraz Fields flip to O'Donnell 1. Throw on to first in time for a double play. Just will look back out there for the Marauders. He takes the snap. Looking over the middle. Has a man. Can he steals? Reels it in. 35. Stick on to defender. Still on to the 20. Once again. Hit in the air to deep center field. Sicka moving on the back at the wall. It's gone! Ellis Reed with a 2-run blast. And the Marauders have a 6-0 lead.
St. Peter's Prep has the best coverage for its student athletes. Why don't you?
Want to learn how to be a talk show host? Want to be a great play-by-play announcer?
That's good!
You always have to be prepared for something to happen.
Thank you, Gary.
Sure, thank you, Matthew.
Good evening, everybody. Today is Super Bowl 54. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers.
But sometimes there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot going on. There's a lot on your mind.
Arizona is a tough out right now.
I think the Chiefs come out of it.
He speaks beautifully.
To speak in front of people, learning how to have a conversation, learning to ask questions. These are skills that will help you in whatever you do in your life.
It's hard to get to everything we have going on here. I mean, this high school has so much. And now you're offering the ability to watch those events without having to travel there.
My dad travels a lot, so he likes to watch the events. Like if I'm playing a volleyball game and he can't make it, he'll watch it and he loves it.
I think it was homecoming. It was Friday night, and it was a punt return. And I returned it all the way back for a touchdown. And then, of course, I showed all my family members, and they really liked it. They liked to see what their family members can do.
Golden Lions.
I think this broadcast is essential because our team is global and we got people all over the world going to watch the game. So without this, there's no way they can do that.
These kids and these players feel loved. They feel important. And by broadcasting it, you have a bigger group that you're reaching that allows them to know those kids.
New Jersey, that was. I can't see it. Blacked out. It's blurred. Well, it's supposed to be blurry. Hear that?
This one's obvious.
Blackhawks or Ducks?
So obvious. Oh no! 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 Blackhawks! Blackhawks!
What did you say the first time? I didn't even hear.
I said Rangers. It's Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's Blackhawks.
I'm in Chicago was the home team twice. So, this is not a gimme series for Edmonton. I still make the other succinct.
He's going to take it himself for a championship! the middle, barreling towards the goal line. Baldwin is in for a Vance touchdown.
Right down the middle, man. This guy, and he keep going in. The
ball's loose.
And they hop back on it. That's a touchdown.
Short punt, bounces at the 35. Fielded at the 40 by Quick. Out to the corner. He's got blockers and a lot of green grass in front of him. Cuts back. He's in for a touchdown.
Swing pass in the flat. Touchdown.
Good job, block. 3rd down and 17. A handoff. Getting to the outside. There's a first down. And all the way to the races is Elijah McWilliams to the house for a touchdown and for an IMIC for a division championship.
Do you want your school to be covered by the #1 live stream service in the state of New Jersey so the entire country can see moments like this?
We play once again. Free kick coming for the Mountaineers. Short shot on goal. On post and West Orange makes the goal, and they win. They take down the #2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. Bullock takes the snap. He's going to take it himself. Barreling towards the goal line, and he's in. Carriage Bullock from 3 yards out, and the Marauders lead it 20-7.
Or be a witness to championships like these?
Montclair are state sectional champions. They defeat Livingston 4-1, and the Mounties sweep the boys and girls brackets in back-to-back wins over the Lancers. 3-2. There goes the runners. Swing on and miss. Strike 3. That does it. The Cranford Cougars are the Last Dance World Series champions.
Or have exclusive interviews with players and coaches.
Maroon and Silver Star pitcher T. Mulcahy. I'm here with Cranford star Ryan Jaros. With the Bergen Crusaders star of the game, Luis De La Cruz. Here with West Orange head coach Doug Nevins. And all right, now here with star goalkeeper Nikolai Matthews of this West Orange Mountaineer team. Nikolai. Here with Claire Manning after Montclair picks up a 4-1 win over Livingston. I'm here with Molly Brumback, the goalkeeper. Molly, what was today like? Here with West Orange girls varsity coach Sean DeVore.
Then join the D1 Media Pro team, New Jersey's #1 live streaming service.
When one of the top public high school athletic programs in the state of New Jersey uses the #1 live stream in the nation.
Flip to Carson. He went the 90 yards on the kickoff return. He's trying to finish it off with a touchdown, and he does! Define Carson. Ball court.
Passed on over to Capstraw. Capstraw will dive in past 2 players, and she's able to load up and score. That is the 1,000-point club type of play right there. You can't ask for better than that one.
Pass across. Stick down by Murphy. Send the shot and deflected. They score!
2 now. We're at the 2:30 marker left in the game. Immaculate go quickly, but it has just costed them a good play there to stay on the West Orange side. Diving in quickly is Capstraw, and she herself is leading West Orange to a comeback. 5
on it along the far corner, tries to send it in towards goal. Has a man! What a pass! What a goal! Emma Mitchell to Gianna Festino. Short shot on goal. On post and West Orange gets the goal, and they win. They take down the #2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. What a thrilling game!
So a free kick for West Orange. She sends it towards the net.
But we don't score the game, we just call and record it. As the pitch from Bove with nobody on base, swung on and missed, struck him out. Rosu now trying to get on the offensive side of things. Can he? Ooh, and he's able to work himself into a pin position. Penny on the pin. He's got all 5. Back points easily secured. And he pins him. So the first Rosu with the pinfall victory. A big victory for Rosu.
West Orange with a 5-0 win over North Central. I'm here with West Orange head coach Doug Nevins. All right, West Orange with a 6-1 win over Columbia. I'm here with 3 stars of the game: Emma Mitchell, Kaya Schultz, Gianna Festino.
So I'm Ryan Lowy from D1 Media Pro, and I'm joined with senior Kaya Schultz and junior Kylie Capstraw. West Orange girls varsity basketball season is over.
Here with West Orange girls varsity coach Sean DeVore. Russo after a 5-0 victory for West Orange over Newark Central. It's his responsibility as Maldonado cranks one into deep left field. You can forget about that. Chris Maldonado with home run number 2 today. He's go
as this one is ripped into left field. A bat flip and a homer for Tyler.
Pitch is hit in the air, left field. Going over Fiore. He's back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. A leadoff home run for St. Joseph's Regional. Ellis Garcia gets things started for the Green Knights. Here in the payoff pitch is hit in the air, deep right center field. That ball is high, it is far, and it is gone! A grand slam for Matthew Monteleone. And it kicks and fires. That pitch is hit in the air, deep right field. Get out of town! Michael, you laid it up, and Marcus Johnson smacked it out of the yard. A leadoff bomb from the Cougars center fielder. Play the 1-2. Hit in the air, deep left field. That ball is high, it is far, it is long gone off the house. Makai Moore with a go-ahead 2-run shot way out of here. At Miller. Pitch is a breaking ball, cut on and missed. Hard strikes out the side of the third. We head to the home half. But the first pitch to Hollander is belted in the air. Deep left field. That ball is high, it is far, and it is gone. Matthew Hollander wastes no time getting Milburn on the board here in the first inning.
Second half here at the Madonna Turf. Ryan Lowy joined with Jacob Gorn and Noah Varman on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network. Montclair will kick off. Filippo Geisy now for the Mounties to get us going. Jacob, expectations for the second half?
Hope it's just as good as the first half, Ryan. It's been a good game thus far. Both teams have had good chances, and it's 1-1. It's like, it's one of the most even games you can ask for. Get started on the field.
Well, I don't know what you were doing at halftime, but me and Jacob enjoyed some good donuts and cookies. It is a little chilly here at the Madonna Turf, but thank God they're selling some good food here. Ball shipped on up at the 50. Punched on through by Fisk, and a slide tackle gives it right back to the Mounties. Geisy sends one far side chasing Sippery. Sippery at the edge. Takes on Malhotra. Maneuvers round, but Jake Fitzgerald gets in the way and says no, no, no. It is very chilly. Temperature dropped. We're really getting that fall feeling as Feldman gets in the way of that one. Pushed on up. Chisarick fights Levine for the ball, and it's deflected out for a Mounties throw-in far side. Jacob, getting really chilly.
Yep. And I'm in shorts, Ryan.
And ball is thrown in by Levine. Gunned down the field, as a matter of fact. Cleared away, and the putback opportunity by Sippery is over. And Hans now has a goal kick from the 6. Livingston, just like the first half, less explosive right off the bat. They give up a goal with roughly 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they don't want to do that in this half.
Well, they're doing quite a good job at that so far. There's a beautiful relay ball right there by Grossman to get to Fisk and now to Fisher. Fisher maneuvers round, tries to find a shot opportunity. It's deflected and shut down by Marcos Gutierrez. And you can hear Montclair's enthusiasm after that one.
Noah Fisher's been on fire as of recent. obviously didn't score in Livingston, got shut out in their last game, but prior to that, I believe 4 goals in previous 3.
Ball's thrown on in and cleared away. Henselvitz deflects one off of Geisy for a throw-in for the Lancers. Lancers are on the road. They will take on Glen Ridge on Wednesday. Only a couple more home games left in the schedule, likely back at the Jake. We're still awaiting senior night to be scheduled on the schedule. Ian Jacob and most likely Noah Varman, Jordan Cooper, or Ben Lerner will be on camera for that one. We got a whole Lancer production crew on the D1 Media page on the NFHS network, producing Lancers boys soccer games. We did a couple football games this year as Lancers hosted West Orange and Millburn. Well, Livingston took down Millburn 23-0 to open up their season on the football side, and they lost to West Orange 35-0. That's quite the turn of events on the NFHS Network on-demand function if you want to check out Lancers football this year. You can watch them shut out the Millers or get shut out by the Mountaineers.
They've won their past couple, Ryan. Beat Patterson Kennedy, and they beat Orange at home. Blowout this past Friday.
And Coach Matt Sack is taking the reins for the Lancers this year. He took on quite the project, as you'd say.
Yeah, Livingston, not exactly known as a football school, but, well, this type of football they're known as, not not American football.
So we're roughly 4 minutes in. It's a 1-1 game. Ball controlled by the Mounties. Gutierrez ships one on up as it's touched by Moore. Played on upwards to Ballou. Ballou maneuvers round 2 and passes one on upwards to Geisy. Geisy ships one through. Opportunity for O'Toole is shut down by Feldman. He's fierce Feldman.
That was
quite
an opportunity, Ryan, for Patrick O'Toole. That just hit the back of his foot. That ball carried an extra couple inches, and it's a fantastic opportunity, possibly a goal for the Mounties to go up 2-1.
Fisher bullies Gumas off the ball, who gets it back from his right back. O'Toole plays close to Caldarella and upwards to Adams. Adams gets around not 1, not 2, but 3 Lancers, but he's eventually bullied off the ball, but tips one on upwards to Ballou. Ballou, slide tackle down by Feldman, and somehow kept on in 2. He's fierce, he's strong, he's lucky, Feldman. Left foot plays one on up.
Ryan, I'm going to say something. I'm not sure if I hope I'm not jinxing him, but I've not seen Zach Feldman make a bad play.
Well, down is Fisher as he slowly and hesitantly gets on up. Looks a little shooken, but he's all right.
No, Fisher, quite the actor. Not sure. I think may have over-exaggerated that a little bit, Ryan.
Yeah, Fisher was suffering some cramps in the county tournament. Good thing he's in the lineup for today. A little bit of a worry for the Lancers. Fisk, Captain Fisk, raises his hand. This is his second year in varsity as he ships a beautiful ball on upwards that's headed away. Therefore, it is Moore. Relayed on back, Fisk heads one backwards where Malhotra sends one on up with the inside of his strong foot. Ball under pressure for the Mounties as it's just shipped on upwards by O'Toole. Goldsmith finds Fisk as it starts to get really windy. Jacob, I don't know about you, but I'm shaking. It's quite cold.
Yeah, I am too, Ryan.
I think it's downwards of 50 degrees, it feels like, with the wind entering the Madonna Turf field. First home game of the season played at the Madonna Turf field. Likely the last as well. Not too many home games left for the Lancers this fall until the state sectional tournament starts to enter the schedule. A nice relay header. Fisher goes down once again and is slow to get up. Let's hope he's all right. He was questionable for today, but fits into the lineup. As I spoke to Coach Rametti, he said, well, if he's dressed, he's playing, and well, he's playing.
Yeah. He was a concern coming into this one. Livingston's real glad to have him playing this afternoon.
Lancers control in the back. Henslowitz. A nice one-touch pass to Fisk. Fisk works round quite well Adams. And he left foot pushes one into no man's land, where right on top of that one is Sippery. Sippery goes down with the ball, and it'll be a ball moving in direction of Montclair for a free kick. So now a Mounties free kick. Hand is raised. Service, headed, and cleared by Fitzgerald as it bounces right to us, Jacob. And bounces just a couple feet in front of us. We were almost the lucky fans there.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, these two teams in football action this Friday. You want to know who Montclair is playing?
Livingston.
That's right, Livingston.
That's here in Livingston.
At Al Jake.
Yeah, at the Jake. That I believe will be their final home game of the season, Ryan.
Montclair, a tough loss to the Mountaineers of West Orange we've covered all season long. Power Man was powerful that game. As it will be a Mounties throw-in that'll be addressed by Adams. The time of day is 5:07 p.m. as it's thrown in. O'Toole finds his option of Goomis. And this ball sent on far, aggressively taken away. Chiserick upfield, cuts round. Cuts right on back. Sends one to Fisher, intercepted, but gets right back to him. Chiserick is like a machine right now, just powering through as he finally loses the ball. Goldsmith toes one on up. Fisher uses his left foot, addresses across. It's deflected out for a Lancers far side throw-in on the right of your screen.
Yeah, Lucas Chiserick, Ryan, and it's like, I'm not sure, this might be a bit of an obscure analogy, but when you play NHL Be a Pro in the NHL, the video game, your energy just boosts all the way back up.
Feldman in front of the goal, saved by Thatcher. The deflection off of Adams falls into Thatcher's arms, as you were saying, Jacob.
Boosts all the way back up to 100% at the beginning of each period, no matter how much you played the period before. Seems what's happened with Chiserick. Break gave him a boost all the way back to 100.
Yeah, Chiserick with the energy boost. Lancers just could not capitalize. As the goal kick from the 6 is sent on up, Fitzgerald goes flying into fellow number 13, Nuri Goomis. And Goomis gets the call that he deserves. It's going to be a Mounties free kick from the 35 right here on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network. Ryan Lowy joined with Jacob Gorn and Noah Varman here at the Madonna Turf Field. It's the first game being broadcasted here of this season. It's a chilly one.
Yeah, Fitzgerald on that play like Superman, Ryan. Diving to try to head it. A little too physical, the official will say.
Yes, corner, all right.
Out of bounds for a far side corner on the left side of your screen. Under 30 minutes left to go in the second half of play here at the Jake. Excuse me, at the Madonna Turf. It's funny not saying at the Jake when you're talking about Lancers boys soccer this year. We've said it so many times. So here comes the Calderella cross. Mounties are getting dancy with a trick play. Sent on in, and the cross is weak, right to Fisk, but the shot sent on in, deflected away. Fisk able to clear it.
It's a good play by Fisk. He jumped in the air, it looked like with both feet. Hoped one would hit it and tapped it. Almost out of the Mounties offensive end of the field. Ends up with being a free kick, though, for the Lancers and Feldman at about the 5-yard line.
Interesting play right there between Feldman and the goalkeeper, Jake Hans, but the ball is sent on upward into Mountie territory where they control. O'Toole. Upwards to Mendez. Mendez sends a ball just brilliantly to Adams, who keeps it on in. But Henslowitz will shut him down and keep it on in. A great day for the Lancers defensive line after giving up that first goal. They've been locked down ever since.
Yeah. Francis Henslowitz, Feldman, Mr. Speed, Krish Malhotra have all been fantastic this afternoon, Ryan.
Another throw-in. A couple yards upwards to the 50. Hensowitz will try and stretch himself further. And he ended up throwing it in much further than where it came out. Caldarella. Far side to Gutierrez, who pings one on upwards, and Malhotra takes a touch, bullies one on up. Nice touch in the air by Grossman, who can't come up down with it. That's a nice effort there by Mendez. He is out of play far side near the Lancers bench for a Mounties throw, and that's gunned upfield. There's a brilliant throw. Controlled by Geisy. Geisy cannot find the ball. Here's Mendez. Mendez for the Mounties. Being addressed by Feldman. No call comes. As the Mounties control, here's a shot from far. Gunned away by Gumas. And Hans will reset as the Lancers captains will try and scream for the rest of the team to wake up. It's only a 1-1 game. It's nobody's game as of now.
Yeah, I'd say Livingston probably controlled the majority of the opportunities in the first half, even though it was very close. I'd say the Mounties, though, have really applied the pressure here to start the second half. Just about 14 minutes in, 26 to go. Livingston's defensive four have held strong, though.
Hans sends one up. Poorly touched down by Ballou, but Montclair will control nonetheless as it's dribbled out of play by Adams. However, Fisher, the guilty verdict of that whistle. Adams will leave it, so Calderell will take it. Now, Jacob, I know it's early. However, if this is a tie game, the county tournament is over. The sectional tournament has not yet started. This is a divisional game, which means that if it's 1-1, we will see 2 10-minute intervals of golden goal overtime. And if nobody scores, it's a tie game. Ball addressed into the 18, where it's headed away. Montclair still control outside the 18. Here's a shot deflected away by Feldman. He's fierce Feldman. Saves the day again. How many times are we going to say that?
Yeah, I know, Ryan. He's been this team's superstar, though. Not just this afternoon, but all season long. We've been there for a lot of it, Ryan. And find a ton of those games on the on-demand function of the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network.
That's right, the on-demand function. You can catch any D1 Media Pro live-streamed game that has come to its conclusion. That includes pretty much the Boys and Girls County Tournament in the entirety. And last year's Boys and Girls Sectional Tournament, Montclair were the victors of last year's sectional tournament. They graduated 18 seniors. Benjamin Cessio had a phenomenal game. Here's the ball to Fisher. Fisher collides with the catching and earning the call of Thatcher. Montclair, just inches away from giving up a second goal, now have a free kick inside their 18. Fisher getting aggressive with his frustration of not being able to finish today with multiple opportunities.
Yeah, those opportunities, missed opportunities can add up, Ryan. You said possibly getting to him a little frustrating. I can tell you I would be if I couldn't bury one.
Throw in for the Mounties. A goal from Ballou for Montclair. Later on in that first half, a goal from Hensowitz for the Lancers puts us at a 1-1 draw here as we get closer and closer to the essential, I guess you could say, fourth quarter of play here at the Madonna Turf. Ball shipped on forwards. Deflected for a corner kick. Happy about that call is Jabari Wilson, the senior. And now it is a far side on the left side of your screen. Corner kick for Montclair.
This is big, Ryan. 23 and a half left in the second half. They have a chance right here to go up 2-1.
So here comes the Caldarella kick. Headed away, we'll do it again. We will switch sides. Oh no, we will actually stay on that side. Look like Running with the ball to the close side was Joaquin Mendez, but then he redirects it right back to Caldarella. The Caldarella kick and cross as he raises both hands, winds and deals, and this one curls. Looked like it was off the crossbar and out of play. What'd you see there?
I believe it was off the crossbar, and I thought it was Mendez.
Yeah.
That was in front of the goal. He had a chance to bury that one out of midair. Just put it wide. Tough break there for the Mounties.
Feldman from the 6 for the goal kick as it's absolutely freezing here. Frostbite temperatures, Jacob. Absolutely freezing.
I'll tell you, Ryan, if there was not any wind, it would be a lot better.
Yeah, it's a great game. A lot of fun. Passed on backward and kicked on up by Caldarella. Touched on down at the 50. Last touch, El Fuego, who checks into the game once again. And it's going to be a throw-in for Adams. And the Mounties is now controlling his blue with the goal today. For the Mounties, possible shot opportunity from far is faked. A ball shipped far side. Touch on in, wrong side of the net. A good play attempt there by the Mounties as they work together with the 1-2 balls. And actually, it looks like it hit Hans's fingers. So Hans is probably, I'm going to assume, freezing cold fingers, got a touch on that soccer ball to earn the Mounties a far side corner kick. So it's going to be a Caldarella corner.
Hans is wearing gloves, so fingers maybe not as cold as ours.
Oh yeah, ours are freezing at the moment. Caldarella once again will raise both hands. Another Mounties trick play. They run on in from outside the 18. It's cleared by Fisk. And this header keeps the ball in play.
Good play there to keep it in. A little back and forward.
Now Hotra's getting dancy. He loses the ball. Player down inside the 18. No whistle. As the ball's out of play for a far side corner kick from Caldarella. Now, Jacob, this cold reminds me of a Lancers ice hockey season that a lot are excited for.
Yep. We'll be there for a few of those games. If you live in Livingston, there'll be a few games you can catch on TV.
Ball addressed on in by Caldarella once again. This one, a lot of spin as it's punched away, and we'll switch sides. Caldarella.
And Jake Hans punched that one out of the air.
I mean, he couldn't really catch it. That one was addressed with so much speed and direction. As now we will switch sides and give the ball to Mendez. Mendez gives it to his, Caldarella gives it to his fellow senior Mendez to cross one on in. That looks just a little too strong as it's over just about everybody's heads. Redirected on out to Salomon. Weaves by one, passes one on upwards, it's dummied. The shot from far, trickles and blocked away twice, and Hans is able to squander that one. Everyone screams for a call as we will now stop the clock.
Oh, Hans is down. That's not good.
And well, Jake Hans is shooken, Jacob.
Yeah, he was cleated in the face. I would be too if I was him.
And well, Jacob, you know who's getting ready on the bench? Matthew John. I think Hans is all right. He looks very shooken. Yeah, they're going to let him play on. We thought Matthew John was going to get his moment there, but thank God Jake Hans is okay. He's the future of this program, really.
Less than 20 to go here, Ryan.
Did we see a card there?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't think we saw a yellow there. Clock will start on the whistle. Under 20 minutes left to go. It's fourth quarter action, you could say. Ball shipped on up. Malhotra. Ooh, a back heel kick brilliantly by Salomon. Controlling is Wilson. Now to Salomon. Fisher. Touched away by O'Toole. Whistle blown. That will now be a Henselwitz throw-in. Jacob Matthew John, the JV starting goalkeeper, potentially getting some minutes at the varsity level today as Hans took a rough hit to the face. Let's hope he's all right.
He looks fine now, Ryan.
Yeah. There's definitely concern.
reason to be concerned.
Matthew John, the junior. Keep an eye on him on the bench as he's currently warming up. Ball out of play. We have 2 substitutions for the Mounties. Looks like checking in is Daniel Hill and Marcos Gutierrez. Hill, the junior. Gutierrez, the senior. Baloo will check on out. Key asset for the Mounties that will come off the field with 18 minutes left to go in this chilly second half of the Madonna Turf as the ball is gunned on in. Coach Tori Weaver, the head coach for the Mounties, coming to this game. Coach Roger Rubinetti, the head coach of the Lancers, coming to this game. These two teams, an exciting sectional final last year. Lancers sent off 7 seniors. Montclair 18. Ball addressed on inwards by Henselwitz brilliantly. The header from El Fuego doesn't move in a direction. Feldman's backwards header is over. Feldman can do just about everything with the head. We remember what he did during the county tournament. I think it was versus Columbia. Whoa!
I believe it was the game before.
Yeah, you're right.
Against, Belleville, was it? Or...
Well, whoever they played, Feldman, just, wow. I think there was like 2 words to address that one. Holy and cow. Holy cow. How'd he do that one? That was really a SportsCenter top 10 highlight right there.
Yeah, and great chance there. From our angle, we thought it had possibly the arc to go in.
Yeah.
I think it just went over to the outside, skimmed the outside of the net.
Of course, our Madonna Turf filming location gives us a different aspect of the high school soccer game. Off a bunch of heads and out of play, and we have a Mountie down. Slow to get up, it's Levine. Possible cramp, maybe, as he slowly gets up and looks all right. Well, Jacob, it's getting late in the season. You know what that means. The injuries start to come out.
Yeah, so you get a little more beat up over the season. Something that maybe it'll shake off earlier could affect you just a little more.
Ball addressed on in. Deflection header, squeezes by Hans. A whistle comes in. We have an offsides. And the Lancers take a breather. Now, Jacob, let's revert back to our keys to the game for a second. A strong start was one of the things that you said. My apologies, not a strong start. Press the back line, I should have said, is one of the things that you said for the Lancers. Do you think they've pressed the back line?
I'm not going to say, I mean, first half a little more. I don't think they have enough, Ryan. I think the second half, they definitely need to apply a little more pressure. They can't just let Montclair's back 4 and back 3 do what they do.
Montclair, the first team to score in this one. Not even 5 minutes in, not even close to 5 minutes in. They cracked the scoreboard. A miraculous goal from Baloo, his, I believe, 6th of the season, as this one's up and addressed by Hans quite brilliantly.
Hans with the verticals there.
Hans catching that one like a football wide receiver. Odell Beckham Hans. An interesting nickname there. I kind of like it. What do you think, Odell Beckham Hans?
ODH?
I kind of like it.
Well, that would be great if this was 2017, but Odell Beckham Jr. is no longer playing with New York Giants, Ryan. He's been with the Cleveland Browns for quite some time now.
Well, maybe he'll get traded to the Lancers. They have a big game against Montclair this Friday. At the Jake. Taken away. Wilson. Ships one far to Hill. Hill. Deflected away by Malhotra. He stops the run and gives the Lancers a big breather with 14 and a half left to go. Stop the clock. Because we have a Lancer shooken up. That's Chiserick, a key asset to the Lancers this year. Last year, he was one of the first Lancers off the bench. This year, he's debatably an all-conference player. He's had quite the year. Is waiting to throw it in as Adams.
He was named a top 100 senior in the state of New Jersey, Ryan. Quite a year he is having.
Played on upwards. Hill. To Wilson. Deflection off Feldman and cleared by Strunsis brilliantly. Almost as a pass right to Fisher, who relays one to Jared Fisk, who's deflected of a run. Fisher poor touch goes down, does not get the call, but Mr. Speed relieves. A solo and a pass right on up to Fisk. Fisk opens up the field.
Fisher's been taking a beating so far today. Ryan.
Fisk misreads the ball. He'll not be able to keep it in. Thatcher will now have the goal kick opportunity from the 6. There's 13:40 left to go in the second half. Remember, the overtime rules, Jacob, would be 2 10-minute intervals of golden goal. Ball addressed on upwards.
I believe that would be the first time this Lancer squad has seen extra time this season, Ryan.
Not for Montclair. They played Seton Hall Prep in 2 10-minute intervals of overtime and somehow did not give up a goal. That's quite impressive. One of the reasons why they may actually squeeze into the top 20, which they need to take down the Lancers to do. Chris Kane will make his first appearance of the game. Fisher, stumbling on his feet, will check on out. Again, suffered cramps in the county tournament. Fits into the lineup today. I'd say he's had a lot of opportunities that he just missed out on, Jacob.
Yeah, definitely a stronger first half than second half, but it's the case with basically this entire Lancer squad. Maybe they're also getting cold.
Oh, it's definitely chilly.
Cold feet, Ryan.
A nice touch by Strunsis, a sophomore, actually a swing player who is more of just, I'd say, a full varsity player at this point.
Yeah, he's been one of the surprises for this Lancers back four that they like to run.
This ball splits by Feldman, but Fitzgerald to relieve. Ball shipped on up to Kane. Kane takes a nice touch on through, but loses the ball, as in the way of that one is Adams. Ball addressed on backwards and a whistle blows, and it'll be a free kick at the 50 on the dot with under 12 minutes left to go. Jacob, that's something I like about high school soccer. It's not a tie after 90 minutes, or I should say 80 minutes in high school. We do play overtime to see if we can find a winner, and then, if we can't find one after that, then it's a tie. I do think at that point you might as well just go to the shootout, but, I mean, who really wants to play extra time and then result in a tie? Not really anybody.
Nah. That's how it works, though, when you're regular season high school soccer.
Ball addressed on upwards by Henselwitz, where it's controlled by Calderella. Henselwitz here's one upwards. Gets a head on it. Punch through by Levine, and ball finds itself out of play on the Mounties bench. Throw in Mounties. We're waiting Levine's throw-in as he runs on up and guns one strong down the field. Hans punches it away. Still controlled, though, by the Mounties, but El Fuego gets in the way of that one. He relays one up to Fisk. Fisk tries to do a spin-o-rama pass. He loses it. Mounties control. Strunsis gets in the way. 3 Lancers help him out as the ball's relayed on up to Grossman, who takes a poor touch on the ball. He's had a tough day today.
Yeah, one of the things we said, he needs to continue his strong performance. He has been unable to do that, and it's 1-1.
O'Toole relays one far side. It's just kept on it and bombed. Out of bounds for a goal kick from the 6. Goal kick from the 6 now from Hans. He'll actually leave it for Feldman, it looks like. Well, the Lancers do another tricky short play. He practiced that a lot at their practices. One thing I've noticed, the Lancers not many corner kick opportunities today. Ball played on up. Headed up at the 45. Fisher, who checks back into the game, passes one on up to Henselwitz. Henselwitz with the left foot push. That fits into the Lancers bench.
Ryan, a little over 9.5 to go here. It's looking more and more likely we're going to see extra time. As this clock moves down.
And this ball is squandered up by Hans. Addressed upwards. It's roughly the 50. Montclair controlling the back. Shipped up. There's a nice through ball. Feldman will go at it with Ballou. And Feldman wins the chase. And it will be a Mounties throw-in.
You're not beating Zach Feldman there, Ryan.
No, it's very tough to do that. Feldman, a brick wall. So miscommunication on the Mounties throw, but it will come from Nicholas Levine. Well, don't forget to tune in this evening as two bitter foes of both Livingston and Montclair, West Orange and Milburn at Lincoln Field and West Orange will take each other on a 7 as this ball's headed up and addressed by Hans. That game is at 7 p.m. Kevin Connolly on the call.
Ryan, Hans has had a good game today. Let up that goal early, but he needed a statement game like this to show the team, yes, he is their man after this season, after Paredes graduates.
Levine being chased down by El Fuego, sends a ball through. Feldman called off by Hans. Hans will now take his time. A boot of a punt that bounces. Malhotra, deflected pass. And the Mounties control with Adams. Adams plays on over to Gumas. Mounties control, this ball shipped on up. There's a heavy touch that Hans reads just brilliantly. And now Hans will take his time. This ball, go ahead.
7 left, Ryan.
We still don't have a clear winner of this one. 2 10-minute overtimes a possibility as a nice 1-2 pass to Fisher, who loses his footing. He's having a tough day connecting with the turf.
Yeah, this whole Tire Lancers team has been just a tough second half.
Yeah, it really has as the ball is addressed on inwards.
Only a couple real good chances, Ryan.
Fisher to Fisk. Fisk's shot deflected. Fisk spins around, it's deflected. Fisk's redirected shot, it's just over. Oh, a shanked bullet.
That was a twisty one by Fisk. He rockets that one just high.
Well, he shot that one like you serve soft serve ice cream and just twisted. Addressed on up. Nice touch by Fisk. Fisk having a strong couple minutes as this pass is deflected out. Played on up. Sent through by Hill. There's a nice ball that Hans can't win the chase to. The push shot over the net. We do have a whistle. Let's wait to see the call. It looks like it might be a PK. We'll stop our clock. What's the call here? We're going to wait to see what the result of this one is. So it's a PK opportunity now for Montclair. Looks like it's going to be a PK as there's a lot of confusion. This one looks like it'll come from Patrick O'Toole. O'Toole will now address it in. His shot fits into the back of the net. It's the third goal of the game and the second for the Mounties as they lead 2-1. Patrick O'Toole buries it opposite side of Hans's location when that one was botched off his feet. And the Mounties take a late lead. And Jacob, how much time do we have left?
About 5 minutes and 16 seconds, Ryan.
So 5 minutes.
Sorry, 24 seconds.
5 minutes and 24 seconds left to go. It's 2-1 Mounties. A controversial call as O'Toole is able to capitalize. We have a substitution. Livingston very frustrated with that call. Coach Rubenite is screaming, "What are you doing?" This gives me deja vu to the counties when the Lancers did not give up a PK, but they gave up a very controversial call that really twisted the direction of the soccer game in favor of the Mountaineers, who won that game 4-0. This one only a 2-1 difference, and the Lancers not playing a man down, but a very tough call. This one shipped on up. Mounties control. Lancers down 2-1. We saw our third goal of the game from Patrick O'Toole off a PK. You'll see that on NJ.com tomorrow. Other goal from Blue, less than 5 minutes in. Lancers capitalized later that half with a beautiful finish that was deflected from Henselwitz. Lancers now working down a goal for the second time today, which they worked the entire first half. They're not shy to this, but there's not much time to capitalize off of it as it's squandered up by Hans. What do you make of Hans' performance today in goal? I think he's done pretty well.
Yeah, I thought he's had a good game. I don't think that penalty kick was his fault. You know.
No, yeah.
It's just it was a nice shot, and first goal maybe he should have gotten, but after that, I thought he was a real solid game.
Chisrick battles his way, Chisrick battles his way out of play for a Lancers corner. Fisk will take it, the opposing winger for the Lancers. Fisk wearing number 12, the captain. The Vassar College commit.
Big corner here, Ryan. Just over 4 minutes left.
The Vassar College commit raises his hand, ships a corner on upward. It's headed in the air. Unable to be finished so far. It's off a bunch of heads. Fisher goes down in the box, and he earns a call. It's back-to-back penalty kicks. Now the Lancers have an opportunity to capitalize on this one.
Ryan, that is what you call a makeup call.
Essentially, Fisher is down. He was shook in all-county tournament, and now he's struggling to get to his feet as the athletic trainer will now come and take care of him. We'll be right back. Stay tuned on the D1 Minute page on the NFHS Network. It's a barn burner of a soccer game, folks.
Right up the middle, barreling towards the goal line. Baldwin is in for a Vance touchdown.
Right down the middle, man. This guy.
So the call was a PK that will be addressed from Zach Feldman. It's 2-1 Mounties. Can Feldman cut that? Yes, he can, as that PK fits into the back of the net for a Lancers goal. That's fierce Feldman. It's 2-2.
Number 4 on the year now for him. Back-to-back penalty kicks, Ryan.
We got a good game.
This one's tied.
Wow. Well, Lancers gave up a PK. Coach Rubenite frustrated about it. Fisher struggling to stay on his feet all day. And that's the one time you got to be happy about that one.
Yeah. Saying good finish by Feldman, too.
So let's play soccer once again at a tie. 2-2. I'm feeling drizzling, Jacob. As the Lancers now will earn a free kick, and we got to stop the clock once again. And we have a yellow address here, so a card. Jacob, can you identify who that is on Montclair?
I believe that's Levine, Nicholas Levine.
So Nick Levine, the guilty verdict on this free kick opportunity for the Lancers. And it will be addressed. Actually, looks like a Lancer was guilty. Yes, it was actually Noah Fisher. My apologies. Yeah, it looks like Fisher was guilty on that one. Wasn't sure which direction that call was going, honestly. I really could have gone either way.
50-50 play. There, Ryan. 3:20 about left in this
regulation soccer game.
Regulation.
Please fit the word regulation in when you say game at this point, because, well, it's 2-2.
Yeah.
A PK from O'Toole fits into the back of the net, and then Fierce Feldman finishes with the same. Fisk does not want to see overtime. He wants to finish it here. He sends a ball downfield where Grossman will chase, but beating him with a head start was Caldarella, and the Caldarella kick will be deflected off of Grossman. Possible opportunity now for the Mounties as there's a strong throw-in. Controlled by Blue. Gets by a few. And El Fuego gets dirty and gets in the way of that one. Tapped on up to Grossman and deflected on upwards. Now Hatra keeps it in. There's a ball towed on upwards. Grossman dummies it, but cannot work himself around Caldarella as a whistle's blown. Looks like Grossman was getting a little chippy with the ankles of Caldarella. So now we'll see the Caldarella free kick as Caldarella waves Grossman back. We have 2:10 on our clock. Ball bombed on upwards to the 50 and headed on up. Touched by Wilson. And out for a throw-in for the Lancers. My apologies, for the Mounties, as it will be addressed by Adams. Well, now the players are getting vocal and frustrated, Jacob.
Yeah, it would be too. It's been a good, frustrating game for both teams. There's a lot of missed chances, Ryan.
So there's a lot of confusion on this throw. It looked like they were pointing in the Lancers' direction. Then they pointed to the Mounties. Then they switched it to a free kick, and now it's back to a throw-in, and they're going to say it's now a throw-in. And, well, Caldarella, I think, has just about had it. We'll have to stop the clock. So the clock stopped for whatever reason. And now I guess the clock will start again with a minute 15. Gumas sends it far. Touched on up. Fitz's kick deflected. Possible Mounties opportunity as the ball drizzles into Lancer's back line. And it's cleared away by Malhotra. Pressure and a good touch there by Guzman. Excuse me, not Guzman, that's Adams. Adams up the line. Leaves it for Malhotra, who buries the ball out of play for a throw-in for the Mounties. Far back, yes. As they'll push him backwards. Roughly 40 seconds left to play in regulation. There was a lot of clock stoppages thrown there in the mix, so we'll see if they add any time. Passed on backwards. An aggressive run there by Grossman. This ball's addressed on forwards. Touched under pressure. Fitz clears it away, and, well, this could very likely do the duration of regulation. Montclair wants one more push. There's the gun of a throw-in into pressure. Hans misreads it. Just stopped at the line by Mr. Speed. The redirection doesn't fit in. The next one fits into the back of the net. It's a game-winning goal for Patrick O'Toole.
Oh my goodness, Ryan. That was actually...
Wait, no, that was actually Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
Oh, they're saying he's offsides now. Can we add more confusion?
I thought you had a walk-off game winner there. See what they
say offsides. Wow. So the first question is, I thought I saw O'Toole finish that, but I guess it was actually Gutierrez, and now they're saying he's offsides. So please, throw something else in there to confuse me, Jacob. I think when it comes to that one, everybody was lost. Do you agree with that offsides call?
I don't know, Ryan.
Wait, so now what's going on? So now we have a talk in the middle. And I think that will do regulation? Yep, that will do regulation. So we will go to a confusing break here on the D1 Media Preparation on the NFHS Network. Stay tuned. When one of the top public high school athletic programs in the state of New Jersey uses the #1 live stream in the nation.
Flip to Carson. He went the 90 yards on the kickoff return. He's trying to finish it off with a touchdown, and he does! Jakai Carson.
Ball court. Passed on over to Capstraw. Capstraw will dive in past two players, and she's able to load up and score. That is the 1,000-point club type of play right there. You can't ask for better than that one.
Pass across. Stick down by Murphy. Send a shot and deflected. They score!
2 now. We're at the 2:30 marker left in the game. Immaculate go quickly, but it has just costed them a good play there to stay on the West Orange side. Diving in quickly is Capstraw, and she herself is leading West Orange to a comeback. 5
on it along the far corner, tries to send it in towards goal, has a man! What a pass, what a goal! Emma Mitchell to Gianna Festino. Short shot on goal, off post, and West Orange makes the goal, and they win. They take down the number 2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. What a thrilling game!
So a free kick for West Orange. She sends it towards the net.
But we don't score the game, we just call and record it. As the pitch from Bove, with nobody on base, swung on and missed, struck him out. Rosu now trying to get on the offensive side of things. Can he? Ooh, and he's able to work himself into a pin position. Can he earn the pin? He's got all 5. Back points easily secured. And he pins him. So the first Rosu with the pinfall victory. A big victory for Rosu.
West Orange with a 5-0 win over Newark Central. I'm here with West Orange head coach Doug Nevins. All right, West Orange with a 6-1 win over Columbia. I'm here with 3 stars of the game: Emma Mitchell, Kaya Schultz, Gianna Festino.
So I'm Ryan Lowy from D1 Media Pro, and I'm joined with senior Kaya Schultz and junior Kylie Capstraw. West Orange girls varsity basketball season is over.
Here with West Orange girls varsity coach Sean DeVore. Russo after a 5-0 victory for West Orange over Newark Central.
Overtime here at the Madonna Turf Field in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. It's an SEC conference matchup that is not yet over after 80 minutes of play. Next goal wins. 2 halves of that. And then we have a tie. If nobody scores, which of course I don't think will happen. Montclair putting on a lot of pressure. Livingston responding with a lot of pressure, Jacob. It's been a very exciting game so far, to say the very least.
Yeah, definitely, Ryan. Can we break down what happened there at the end?
Please do.
So, Montclair applying a lot of pressure. There was one last chance. They scored. Refs called offsides. So we're heading to overtime.
Well, Gutierrez looked like he might have finished, but was deflected out a lot. Ball almost snuck by Malhotra, but he was just able to put a toe on that one and clear it away to save the game. And then another opportunity for the Mounties is rejected, as both teams are currently in their huddles preparing for the potential first of 2 overtime periods before we result in a tie, or if one team decides to score a goal, that would be fun too, because that means we'll have a winner. And that's what we came here for, Jacob.
It is, Ryan.
I mean, I will say, it's frigid temperatures. Makes us feel like we're in December. December soccer. 2-2. Montclair have put their starting 11 for the first overtime out. On the other side, Livingston still in their huddle with Coach Rubinetti. What is Coach Tori Weaver saying to the Mounties?
Continue what you're doing to end that first, second half, or really just continue doing the whole second half. I thought the Mounties dominated a majority of that play. Almost won, if not for an offsides.
And then what would you be saying to the Lancers if you're Coach Rubinetti?
I'd say you gotta pick up your pace a little more. Try to push up. This is overtime. It's do or die, Ryan.
Next goal wins by rules of the NJSIAA high school soccer rules. We do have some Livingston soccer alumni here, as well as brother of Jared Fisk is in attendance, Jason Fisk, who graduated 2 years ago and was on the 9-7-1 Livingston Lancers in the year prior. The struggling Livingston Lancers who finished that year, that was the year after they went 5-11, at a very tough record.
Livingston's really turned it around in
Yep.
recent years. Not only do they have a strong program this year, for the coming years they've really got some good players coming up, and not just in their JV freshman programs, they're also playing in 8th grade, 7th grade even.
Development is key. The sub-varsity levels of Livingston High School very successful as of late. The JV team has not recorded a losing season in recent history. Freshman team last year only lost 1 game to Montclair. JV team last year went undefeated. This year it's looking a little different. JV at 500. Freshmen also roughly at the 500, but very minimal sub-varsity games this year and last year. Last year due to COVID, this year due to a minimal sub-varsity schedule. A miscommunication in the back results in possible consequences. Wilson controls, but fierce Feldman pushes away from that one. He had a PK goal to tie this one up after O'Toole did likewise for the Mounties. Jabari Wilson passes one on in, works a 1-2. He's off sides as he crosses one in, and the Lancers take a breather, but they're a little frustrated on that breather.
Definitely are, Ryan. Frustrating is the name of this afternoon's game. Chance after chance, not being able to bury.
Well, the JV game has completed, as the ball will now be addressed back on in. Feldman swamps one upwards where it is touched by Chiserick and turned on over to fellow number 2 Nicholas Levine, but a nice play by Henselwitz to keep the Lancers control. Henselwitz powers one on up with the right foot. It's to Fisher. Fisher relays one to Henselwitz in this 2-2 game. Finds Grossman. Grossman with the turnaround touch. Too strong. Ball pinged on upwards just brilliantly. Able to find Wilson, but fierce Feldman gets in the way of that one and gives the Lancers a breather. Now the throw in from Nick Levine. Jacob, the temperatures are just dropping and it's getting chillier and chillier as this game gets more and more exciting. Ball addressed on inwards by Levine.
Sun's coming out a little bit though, right? Well, as much as it can.
At sunset.
Yeah, at sunset.
Levine works against his fellow number 2, Lucas Chiserick. It's a body fight, and ho, 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 ho. Can we get any more aggressive on that play?
Levine looked like he took Chiserick for a ride there, Ryan.
Yes, I believe they went on the King to Ka. It's a free kick for the Lancers. It looks like fierce Feldman will take care of this one. 7:10 left to go in the first overtime. Feldman sends one on up to the 50. Headed in the air by O'Toole. Chiserick leaves it for Fisher. Good communication. Fisher turns and goes down at the 50. He earns a call as he falls on the ball, and you can hear the Mounties faithful, very frustrated, Jacob. Free kick. Henselwitz will take it. Everyone frustrated with that call. Ball addressed on inwards. Relay header. And it's cleaned on up in net. Thatcher will take his time. There's still 4 minutes left to go in the first of 2 potential overtimes. Next Goal Wins Soccer right here on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS network. Remember to tune in at 7 p.m. on the West Orange and the D1 Media Pro page tonight as West Orange and Millburn take each other on. 2 very strong high school soccer teams. As that one's punched away last year, West Orange's season ended against the Lancers in a shootout in the sectional semifinals. The Lancers then, after that win, would go take on Montclair and lose 3-0, where they would the next day lose on the girls' side in the finals to Montclair at the same field, 4-1.
Yeah, Livingston losing to Montclair was a common thing during the sectionals last year.
Both these teams, 2021 county semifinalists. Yesterday was the county final between the 2 teams that beat these 2 teams, and that was the number 2 in the state Prep Pirates. And then the number 12, possibly even moving up, the West Orange Mountaineers. A great West Orange derby, you can characterize that one, that was.
West Orange, very, very good school athletically.
A lot of strong athletics.
Seeing the corner kick here, Ryan.
Close side corner kick on the right side of your screen.
Chance to end it.
Ball is addressed on inwards and headed away by Fisk. It's kept in, though. Mendez deflected by Feldman, and it hops on out. And it's a Mounties throw, and it looks like Feldman's luck runs out there, as it seems like every single time he's slide tackled the ball away, it seems to have stayed in and turned over. Throw in for Nicholas Levine. As Levine will now send one on in. Headed in the air and off frame, but Hans keeps it in brilliantly. A very confusing ending to regulation. Looked like the Mounties might have finished the game off a finish from Gutierrez, but he was called offsides. Ball played on up. Controlled by Adams. As he stays on up with the ball, sends one up. Henselvitz addresses it to the defensive line. Communication gets the ball to Thatcher, who bombs one into Lancers territory. Poor touch by Feldman, controlled by Ballou.
Tell you, Thatcher has quite a boot.
There's a ball touched by Wilson, who's offsides according to the close side line official. Ryan Lowry, Jacob Gordon, Noah Varman right here at Al Jake Jacobson, excuse me, not at Al Jake Jacobson Field, at the Madonna Turf.
Got less than 3.5 to go in this first overtime session. No score after this one. We'll have a second overtime period of 10 minutes before nothing happens that one. A tie game.
Henselvitz.
No one likes to see that.
No, not at all. Sends one down. It's headed by Grossman and controlled by Salmon. Well, we did promise you this was an even game, and it is quite even right now, 2-2. El Fuego. Onside is Grossman as he heads this one. Fisk relays it back. Fisher hasn't been able to finish today. He does not earn the call as he's sandwiched between two Mounties defensively. Mr. Speed. Relayed on up by Fisk. It's kept on in for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald sends one through. It's too strong. And it's bombed away. Feldman calmly reads it and brilliantly touches it. He finds Malhotra. Taken away, now here come the Mounties, a heavy touch, and fierce Feldman takes a hit on that one. As this one's addressed all the way to Hans, who calls off the pack and switches sides of the field to find Henselvitz. 2 touches and a pass. Feldman reads pressure quite brilliantly. El Fuego. Chisarick. Deflected out of play by Levine, Jacob, and we have less than 2 minutes to play in the first overtime. Attempted turn, rejected. Deflected away. Adams earns the Mounties a throw-in as he deflects it off of the left back Henselvitz. This one is quickly shipped on back in. Strunsis doing a good job bodying off the ball. Wilson, but the Mounties still control, and Chisarick gets physical. He extended, and it's a Mounties free kick with not much time left to go in the first overtime, Jacob. There's no shootout today.
Nope.
I should say no shootout possibility, because if somebody scores within this last minute or the next possible 10 minutes, it's a tie soccer game. Well, no, they would win the game. My apologies if they score. This ball will be addressed by Caldarella, so here's the Caldarella free kick. Both hands raised, he ships one on upwards. It's a high one into attacking territory for the Mounties. Malhotra gets a boot on it. Ball still in the air. Headed up. Read brilliantly and cleared up by Fitzgerald.
So you hear
Oh, and El Fuego commits the foul. And we got to stop the clock now with half a minute left to play in the first OT. It's frigid temperatures here at the Jake, Jacob. Just absolutely freezing.
Yeah, right now it's started at about 60. We worked down to 53. Winds have not helped, though, Ryan.
Ball addressed in. The header does not squeeze into the back of the net. The next one punched away and over the net by Hans. Heroic Hans. Odell Beckham Hans.
Oh, so you called him Heroic Hans. Diving. He knocks that one over. That one hit a pass to the net, Ryan. To the back of the net, I should say. He just hit it, deflected it, and it went onto the top of the net and rolled down.
Salomon takes it.
Corner kick now, though.
This will likely do the first interval of overtime. Ball addressed in, headed, out of play. Hans will take his time and the Lancers will regroup, as well as the Mounties, for the second interval of overtime as our clock winds down. So does the head officials as he blows for the second OT coming up next right here on the D1 Media page on the NFH Network. You don't want to go anywhere.
New Jersey, that was... I can't see it. Blacked out. It's blurred. Well, it's supposed to be blurry.
This one's obvious.
Blackhawks or Ducks?
So obvious. Oh no! 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 Blackhawks! Blackhawks!
What did you say the first time? I didn't even
I said Rangers, it's Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's Blackhawks.
I'm in Chicago as the home team twice, so, you know, this is not a gimme series for Edmonton. But I still make the other succinct.
He's going to take it himself for a championship.
A double play wins it for Frazier. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown. Elijah wins it. The championship.
When one of the top public high school athletic programs in the state of New Jersey uses the #1 live stream in the nation.
Flip to Carson. He went the 90 yards on the kickoff return. He's trying to finish it off with a touchdown, and he does! Jakai Carson.
Ball court. Passed on over to Capstraw. Capstraw will dive in past two players, and she's able to lay it up and score. That is the 1,000-point club type of play right there. You can't ask for better than that one.
Pass across. Stick down by Murphy. Send a shot and deflected. They score!
2 now. We're at the 2:30 marker left in the game. Immaculate go quickly, but it has just costed them a good play there to stay on the West Orange side. Diving in quickly is Capstraw, and she herself is leading West Orange to a comeback. 5
on it along the far corner. Tries to send it in towards goal. Has a man! What a pass! What a goal! Emma Mitchell to Gianna Fessino. Short shot on goal. On post. West Orange gets the goal, and they win. They take down the #2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. What a thrilling game!
So a free kick for West Orange. She sends it towards the net.
But we don't score the game, we just call and record it. As the pitch from Bove with nobody on base swung on and missed, struck him out. Well, the second interval of overtime here in this 2-2 draw between the Mounties visiting the Lancers here at the first and only Madonna Turf home game for the Lancers on the schedule is at its second overtime right now. Next goal wins soccer. If nobody scores in these last 10 minutes, well, that will do the ball game at a tie. Next goal wins, though, as I said earlier, as controlling are the Mounties. This ball shipped on upfield. Pressure now being put on Blue. One-on-one with Malhotra. Ships one up the middle. Touched on down, shot from O'Toole from far. Saved by Hans. He's Odell Beckham Hans with his hands. He saved the game. Again.
I've heard him heroic Hans, Ryan.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic diving save to keep this one going.
I guess his hands aren't frozen like ours because they're electric at the moment. This ball will now be addressed on in. High and brilliantly placed. And, oh, Hans reads that one. He brilliantly reads that again and saves the game. I'll say one thing. Maybe Hans did give up 2 goals today, one on the PK from O'Toole, but he's playing a good game. Really displaying what this future is looking like for the Lancers. You got to be happy with his performance.
Oh, 100%.
Touchdown, the Lancers control Chiserick. Maneuvers around. Taps one on upwards. Headed in the air. And controlled by Fitzgerald, who sends one to Fisk. Fisk can't cut the line. El Fuego reads that one, takes a poor touch, but gets it back. Here's Feldman. Feldman with time. Left foot's one far. He finds Chiserick. Relays one on up. Fisher tries to find one for Chiserick. It's deflected on upwards. Chiserick goes down, earns a foul called on that one. Is Gutierrez, does he see a yellow card? Doesn't look like it, but Chiserick is. Ooh, he
still down.
Yeah, took a bullet in the cold. You never want your cold body to hit the ground like that.
Nope.
In a game as intense and as fierce as this one. Let's hope he's all right.
It's right in the spotlight as well, Ryan. As the lights come on, I guess it's...
Yep, the floodlights are on. Here at the Madonna Turf. Didn't think we'd still be playing. A thriller of a soccer game right here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network. The only way to catch this one if you're not here in person. The ball will be addressed in real soon.
Penalty kick. At about the 25-yard line. Football 25-yard line, I should say.
Henselvitz finds Feldman the relay. Player down in the box, no whistle. Right back out. Grossman tries to ship one in, it's deflected away again. A nice play by Strunsis. He relaxes the ball back in a one-touch pass to Henselvitz, whose relay, he falls on the ball and barely moves it. Shipped upwards. Strunsis. Falls down. The Mounties now on the attack. Mr. Speed slide tackle helps Hans garner that ball up.
6.5 left, Ryan.
Well, I know I'm just throwing nicknames at you, but right now, Hans is Smooth Hands Hans.
So, what are our options here for nicknames? Because we got to figure one out for next year. Ryan.
I really like Odell Beckham Hans. I think that might stick. Smooth Hands Hans is pretty good too. You know, there's always
Heroic Hans.
Heroic Hans. You know, there's a different mood for each nickname. Here's El Fuego. There's a brilliant ball that Fisher will try and chase. Attempted clearance from Calderella. It's out.
Good job, Nicholas!
And it's a Mounties throw-in. Nicholas Calderella getting the thumbs up from the Mounties fans. Ball thrown in. Fisk. Deflected out. Lancers throwing. Fisher. Chips one up the field. It's deflected out of bounds. Lancers throwing again.
I'll give it to Mr. Speed now. He's been one of their main throwing guys this season, right? Such a good arm.
Malhotra guns one up. In the air. Lancers can't get a hand on it as it's cleared away. Henselvitz finds it. Tries to bury one, and it's wide. Henselvitz with a goal from far earlier on in the game. We're about halfway through this first overtime. This second overtime.
5 minutes remaining.
Ball addressed on upwards. At the 50. The ball's still in the air as it takes a bounce. And it's headed up by Solomon. Levine. A nice strong ball. That smooth hands Hans can find. I'm really just trying him out. What do you think, Jacob? I need your opinion on this one. A good analyst will always give their play-by-play announcer an opinion.
I don't know, Ryan. I really like Heroic Hans.
You like Heroic Hans? Well, nobody said we can't use all three. As Baloo. This one's deflected, and was there a hand on it? Yes, there was. It's a handball. Feldman does not like that call. He shows frustration. As just about every Lancer will make their appeal process. Now El Fuego's coming out, and Fisk. Does anyone else want to come and make the argument? O'Toole.
The official's not changing his mind.
A wall of three. El Fuego, Fisk, Grossman.
Chance to end it here, Ryan.
Under 4 minutes, they'll move him back again. An interesting wall finally forms. O'Toole addresses, sends one right into the hands of Smooth Hands Hans.
Smooth Hands Hans, Heroic Hans, Odell Beckham Hans.
Ball sent on up. El Fuego, nice 2 touches in the air, finds Fisk. Fisk touches one down. Fisher ships one far. Grossman. Oh, bullied to the ground by Baloo. And it's a Lancers free kick, Jacob.
Now they'll get a one from the football 25. 2-man wall here.
Grossman's ball is high and punched away.
Khalif is punched away by the goaltender.
And once again, Thatcher finds the soccer ball and now boots it away. 2 nice plays to save the game, as that one most definitely hits Struntz's hands, and a whistle comes in at the 50 from the official. Will we play to a draw? These last couple minutes of this soccer game will tell us so. Slide tackle. Apparently he got the ball. Chisarick sends one up. Touched by Fisher. Chisarick at the 50, weaves around, sends one far side. Fisk with a nice touch. Fisk opens up the field. Fisk tries to send a ball through. Too many Mounties in the way of that one. Mr. Speed collides with Baloo, and the Mounties control. Solomon. Mr. Speed puts on pressure. Shipped on upwards to Wilson. Passed on upwards. O'Toole. Plays one far. Shot deflected away by Chisarick. Chisarick taken down. He was clipped to the ground as he saved the game there for the Lancers with around 100 seconds left to go.
Oh, he's down
Oh,
again.
and he's down. Yep.
Clock will stop with just over a minute and a half remaining in possibly the game. We'll see. It could be a goal next 92 seconds, right?
Yeah, roughly. Chisarick having trouble escorting himself off the soccer field, the Madonna Turf field. He could have very much seen his last minutes at the Madonna Turf in his high school career, playing in a game, as this is the one and only game the Lancers have played at the Madonna Turf this year, excluding the preseason, of course. Feldman addresses this ball back into play. It's high, it's far, it's headed back to the 50. Henselmans touched over. Played on upwards. Kicked into pressure. Malhotra with time. Malhotra no longer with space, as that's one deflected into the church parking lot.
Church soccer fields where
Yeah,
that one went.
that was bombed far. The deflection was heavy. El Fuego. Fisk. Chipped up. Onside is Fisher. He's bodied off the ball. Thatcher on it.
Less than a minute left, Ryan.
On our clock, there's less than a minute. This ball's bombed on up. Touchdown poorly by Malhotra. Played up. One of the last opportunities of the game. Driving on through is O'Toole. Ships one in. And Hans is able to find it. Heroic Hans bombs one up the field. To the 50. And it looks like this might just do the soccer game. A little back and forth.
30 seconds left, still plenty of time for something to happen, Ryan.
Ballou sends one down the field, where it's cleared by Strunsus.
Clear. Less than 20 on our clock, Ryan.
Mounties got to move. They take their time. Official looks at, official's looking at his clock though. His is official. And he says that will be the soccer game. So the Mounties take too long to put it back into play. Ballou with the goal to start off the game 2 minutes in. The Lancers respond later on in the half, and then 2 PKs, one from O'Toole and one from Feldman, complete today's scoreline right here on the D1 Media Pro page of the NFHS Network. I forgot to mention Henselvitz's beautiful goal was probably the goal of the game from that distance. It was the tying goal in the first half. Jacob, your reactions? Your reactions?
It was a tough game for both teams. Very even one, makes it in a tie. And that's going to do it here from the Madonna Turf at Livingston High School, or just by Livingston High School. Once again, I'm Jacob Warren, joined by Ryan Lowy. Good night.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for Fraser. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. Touchdown.